So, dream come true. What was the moment that kind of set in for you? It just became really real. Was there one?
I wouldn't say there's one. Just being able to be here with my family and being able to do this and be a Colt now is really something cool to say. And I couldn't be more happy to be here. And I'm just really excited to start getting in the facility again and be a football player again on the team. So that's really what I'm most looking forward to.
Why did you stay at Penn State? Chris Ballard was praising you for staying, not transferring. Probably had an opportunity to go somewhere else. Why did you stay and kind of wait it out?
That's where I wanted to be. I consider myself a Penn Stater, and besides what the school stands for and the tradition we have, just the people that were there is where I wanted to be ultimately, and that's kind of where I made my commitment to and where I wanted to stay, for my college career, however long that was.
Were there options? Did you at least consider something else or not?
I honestly never looked into it, so I didn't, have too many options come to my attention, so I was really kind of bought in there the whole time.
How much value do you think it was in just, finding a way to get on the field and be productive behind other guys who went to the NFL?
Yeah, I think it's a blessing in disguise, really, because you're going to play with really good tight ends when you go to Penn State, and you're going to learn from really good guys. But it's hard to get on the field when you're playing with. I play with 4 guys that are now in the NFL, so I think that's something that helped me get to this point and helped me a lot in learning and developing as a tight end. So I was really happy to be able to do that.
I'm sure you had interactions with a lot of teams through this process, whether business or otherwise. Was there anything unique to your interactions with the Colts in terms of, any vibe you got or anything you learned about the organization, or, that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I think just the overall vibes I got from them really kind of just gelled quick. I remember my formal at the Combine just kind of got straight to work, started going over install with them, and then kind of my 30 visit, it was never kind of uncomfortable being here. I was always comfortable meeting new people and just getting right to it, talking about life, football, all that stuff. So I've enjoyed, being here and getting to know everybody, and I'm really looking forward to, really get into it and start being a part of the team again.
How many teams brought you in for a top 30 visit?
This was the only place I had a 30 visit.
Chris Ballard used the word unique a lot in his press conference talking about you last night. So how do you see yourself as unique in the skill set you can bring here?
I think it kind of goes into playing time. It's one of the only positions where you have, kind of 2 different things that you really do that are complete opposite, right, where it's blocking and then pass catching. But I feel like that's the fun part about playing it, so you get to do a lot of different things within the offense. And then, as you prove you can do certain things, you start moving around, doing other things. So that's what I really like about it, and I'm glad, this is the position that I've been playing, since I got to college.
Chris really talked up just how unique it is for you to line up in so many different spots and play different positions. How did you go about building kind of a versatile game like that and getting good at so many different things?
Yeah, I think it kind of started just growing up as something I kind of did, in Little League and in high school, playing a bunch of different positions. And really it's just being open to it and then not making it harder than it is. It's all football at the end of the day, and it's stuff I've done before, so I don't see it as learning a bunch of different stuff. I just see it as playing the game and, know my job from play to play. That might look different, in a different way, but it's really just doing my job on each play.
How much did it help you to play so many different positions, to learn the game and be able to understand it from different perspectives?
I think playing quarterback in high school definitely helped me out with that, kind of seeing the defense as a whole. But yeah, I think being able to move around, you're going to see different angles, different views of the defense, and kind of just learning the offense as a whole, I think is important, not just knowing my job, but understanding kind of why we're doing what we're doing. And that's how I've always gone about it when learning football.
Chris said the USC game was one of the top games he saw all year by a college player. What do you remember about that game? And I guess what you put on tape?
Yeah, it was, the numbers were pretty good in that game, but honestly my favorite thing about that game was I'd never had a game-winning field goal like that where you get to storm the field, and that was in overtime. We got to kick the field goal to win it, so that was honestly my favorite part that I got out of that game because I'd never gotten to do that in my football career, and it was, my last college season, so to do that was really cool.
Have you ever worn a number other than 44?
Not in college. In high school I wore number 10 because I was playing quarterback, so I wasn't going to wear 44, but then in Little League I was 44 all Little League.
The Colts have a 44. Do you have another number you want to wear? Or?
I haven't really looked into it too much yet, so I'll have to look into that and see what will happen. But yeah, we'll see.
A lot's been made of the jump in your production right from the previous year to this past year. But a lot of players maybe when they get those additional opportunities maybe can't handle it or have the success that you had. Well, how are you able to handle the volume and that jump in volume that you have?
Yeah, I think knowing, trusting myself and knowing I'm capable of it, and then really proving to my teammates and my coaches those years before I did get this that much work in the game, just proving that I was going to be consistent and trustworthy when I get the ball in my hands and when they're asked to make plays. So I think that's kind of where it came from. And at the end of the day, it's just playing football and being able to keep lining up play after play.
You have a family of athletes. How did you find your identity in sports? You had your dad playing, your sister did volleyball, and that, or softball, sorry. So what does that mean?
Yeah, I think it's kind of just what we did growing up. It was always sports. I played, all three, football, basketball, baseball, all through high school. And yeah, I mean, my dad was my coach growing up, and he kind of helped me, mold into the football player I am. But yeah, it's just been, that's kind of what we've always done is playing sports, and really that's all I've done growing up, so that's just what I do.
I mean this respectfully, but John Riggins film at 8.
Mm-hmm.
You ever think your dad was crazy?
Many times. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, that's just kind of how he was, and that kind of goes with his family. And I'm sure if it was anybody else in his family, they probably would have done the same thing, and kind of same thing on my mom's side. So I'm glad that that's the way it was, and it definitely helped me become the person I am today.
When we talked to the combine, did the Colts have the interest because of position need and all that? But then the Dallas Clark, do you know more about Dallas now? I mean, his name's in the building and all this stuff. Expectations of they're going to measure you against Dallas Clark. Fair, unfair?
No, I mean, he's a great player, and I remember growing up, that was kind of a name that you'd always hear when he was here with Peyton Manning and all that, and they were playing good football. But, I think it's, cool to be, compared to a player like that, but obviously everybody's their own player, so I'm going to try and be the best version of me, and I think anybody would say that. He'd probably say the same thing about himself. So it's not a bad thing to look at people and learn from them, but also being the best version of yourself.
Have you had any interaction with Anthony Richardson since being drafted?
Yeah, he actually called me pretty soon after I got drafted. It was a quick just, saying hello and welcome me. That was pretty cool to, have him reach out and say hello, welcome me to Indy.
What other players have you talked to? Right.
Not on the phone. Nelson reached out and said hi, just said hi, welcomed me. Kenny Moore was another one that reached out. So yeah, it's been very welcoming already, and just looking forward to get around him.
Are there current tight ends in the league that you really, I don't know, if it's emulate or just kind of model yourself out there?
I think Kittle's a good one to watch just because he does, a little bit of everything really well. Jeremy Shockey was a guy I saw this summer who he's not current, but kind of the way his mentality he had when he was running the ball, stuff like that is something I really liked. But yeah, I think there's a lot of, the tight ends I play with at Penn State, Pat, Theo, Brennan, they're all taught me a lot growing, so I feel like I do try and, learn a lot from other people.
Like in college, you play for a prestigious program, you know what it means to wear a uniform on the front. What does it mean to now be wearing the horseshoe, and what do you hope to bring to the horseshoe?
Yeah, it's really cool, to have the opportunity to be, an Indianapolis Colt. And kind of what I try to bring, I try and play the game the right way, and I'm just going to, do whatever is needed of me week to week and just do whatever it takes to win. That's right. That's the whole point of why we're here, is to win games and be a great football team. So that's kind of my focus that I bring to a team and what I really want to do.
How much of an adjustment will it be coming from being such a huge part of an offense to an NFL group where the ball's got to get spread around?
I don't see it as being an issue. It's, I could have 10 catches in a game, or I could have 0 and block for 70 snaps. It's just, what it is week to week. This kind of thing about playing tight end is it could be both of those stats, but that's it's not something I'm worried about. I'm just going to do my job and make sure I'm helping the offense and the team win games.
When you think about the blocking side of it, I guess what excites you about blocking for a guy like Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, it's it makes it easier to block for a guy like that when he can make you look good and make guys miss if you give them 1 yard of a head of steam. So I think that's really cool to be able to play with a guy like that, and this would be awesome.
How much of blocking, particularly your position, is just the mentality?
Yeah, I think it is a big part. I think it's really your mentality to want to do it. It starts with that. You got to want to do it, and then learning the craft behind it and the fundamentals. But I think it does start with being willing to do it before you really know how to do it. I think I'll do just fine. It's been awesome here already in the quick stint we've been here, but everybody's been very welcoming, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here, and I think it's going to be a great fit, and I'm not worried about being homesick or anything because I feel at home already.
What kind of impact do you think you'll have immediately on the field for this team?
I'm just going to do play with great effort and play the right way, and play to the echo of the whistle and just do my job and be a great teamate.
When did you know your couple more days were over?
I don't know. I guess when I started getting tight end offers, I think maybe I could still do it. But no, I think I made the right decision. But yeah, I never saw myself as a quarterback. I just played in high school because we didn't have a quarterback. But I was always just a football player, so playing tight end was something I was open to going into college.
As a skill position player, do you kind of prefer to play within structure, or do you like when things break down and kind of have to get creative?
I think there's room for both, right? I think, there's times where it is going to be structured, and then when it does get crazy, being able to adapt and make plays, I think is important as well. So I try and, be able to do both.
You played quarterback because you guys didn't have one. How did all that conversation and everything go down?
Well, I knew I could play quarterback, and I knew they needed one. I played it in middle school. It was really just kind of running back who would throw every now and then. But yeah, that was just, I was a quarterback going in, so that's what I did. But yeah, I played fullback, growing up on Little League and stuff, so I was kind of all over the place.